So, of course, we seeked revenge on him and we went back to his apartment and we covered his whole doorknob with lube and then put the shower cap on it so he'd know it was us. Hi, guys. Welcome to the newest episode of Middle-Aged Millennial MILF podcast, also known as NAM podcast. Today, we're going to talk about my kid. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about Big Fish because it was such a big part of my life. Get it? All right. So my son joined theater in the 9th grade. His girlfriend, Bunny, who I'll talk about later, I love her, got him into it, and he was in Footloose. And I had never seen Footloose, the movie. I was aware of it, all that, but I'd never seen it. And seeing it, and I had never been into musical theater because I couldn't sing. I was into regular theater, but Walker's been singing since junior high. He's been in choir. So seeing a musical, and it was so cool, and our youngest loved it. And like we watched Footloose, and then I would tease Walker, play the songs all the time. Then he was in Outsiders. So after Outsiders, we had brought food for all the kids because you could volunteer. And now that I'd quit my job, I was like, oh, do you need help with anything else? Is there a booster program or anything? And she goes, yeah, come meet Matt Anderson. He's in charge of it. So I meet Matt, the nicest guy. And he's like, do you want to be president? And I was like, well, of course I do. Have you met me? But seriously? So we had a call and I was president. So I took it very seriously. And I was like, all right, Big Fish is the next play we're doing. I was like, I'm going to be really hands-on and help. So I volunteered with Linda to help with the costumes, which was so much fun. Like Linda, my God, this woman, 75, retired school teacher, widow, grandma extraordinaire. These kids fucking love her. I love her. Everyone loves Linda. I mean, she cares so much and she puts so much into it. And that's rare that someone has that much pride for nothing. Like she's not getting paid. This is volunteer. So I was there to help Linda, and it was fun because I was like helping the kids with the costumes and stuff. But at the time I really didn't, I was just kind of an interloper and they were really nice, but and then Tech Week came. So I was like, all right, so we were arranging the food. Like we were having calls. We were like, yeah, this is what we're doing. And the kids did so good. I had so much fun at Tech Week. We were running around. I was helping. We were getting on costumes. Everybody was so fun. And it was funny because that's kind of when I started to get closer to the kids, is I was really good at setting up the food and cleaning up after them. Even after they were like, the parents aren't here to clean up. I was like, but I am. There are other moms that are like moms. Like they go out of their way and like they built sets, and one of them was like, oh, I painted masks and like did all this stuff at home and ironed it. I was like, I'm here for entertainment and to like clean people up. Like I'm here to keep the trains running on time. I am not that person. To be honest, I think I'm close. Like in my mind, I'm 18 still. So luckily that's kind of when I was just really nice to everybody, and everybody was so nice to me. Like all these kids, like I can't even explain how staggering they all were, from tech to ensemble to the leads, Eli and Lucia. It was transcendent. I mean, and I had seen the movie Big Fish. It was Big Fish was a play they were doing. I had seen it in 2003 and was very underwhelmed. I think I had higher expectations. But so when I heard the Broadway musical, I was like, oh, okay, let's see how this goes. So much better than the movie. Cannot recommend it enough. I loved it. It was probably the one, I never got sick of the songs. Like I could have heard those songs 80 times by those kids, and I was loving it every time. I was hooting and hollering. Like there's a song called it's Showdown, but there's a part where they're like, there's going to be a hanging tonight. And we'd be like, yeah, we were in it, all of us. Like I was having fun, honestly, with the teachers. Shout out to Kylie and Jill. Those are my girls. Like they fucking ran that shit. Those kids love them. So Tech Week is all set up and it's opening night. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like I was going to be there every night of the play. I was all in. So that's kind of in my wheelhouse. So I felt really comfortable managing everything and doing the figure eights, if you will. Thank you, Victoria's Secret, dicks. So an opening night, my in-laws were there. I was trying to avoid them. So I was helping get concessions set up. And that's when I met my new friend, Danielle. Shout out, Danielle. We were like the mom squad. And I was also kind of treading lightly. I didn't know how any of these parents would be. So I tried to keep my curse word jewelry to like the classiest, where it's like just F you and a heart. But luckily they all loved it. And that's also my litmus test on if you can be my friend or not. If my jewelry offends you, you're not for me. If you love my jewelry, then I'll love you forever. I'm pretty easy that way. So, well, first off, all the kids had the stuff set up, and I was like, this is all we have. So I messaged Matt, who's in charge of it. I'm like, did you bring the concessions yet? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, thank God. Because it was like 5 old ass bags of Skittles and some expired chips. So he brought all the new stuff, and we're having the girls set up, and they're like, do we have a popcorn machine? And I was like, no, it got broken. And they're like, well, we bought all this popcorn. And like freaking out. So I call my husband. I'm like, can you bring our popcorn machine? So he's bringing our at-home popcorn machine. And I'm like, okay, guys, like this is an individual home one. Like we're making it for all these people. I'm like, we're going to have to assembly line it. And there was like 5 girls just standing around. And then another mom, Brooke, her daughter was waiting for her husband, Ruby. And so I was like, there's popcorn on the ground. Can you guys clean it up? God bless her. Ruby started cleaning. Like this girl was just on it. And I go, stop. And I didn't manager Sarah came out and I go, hey, you all are here for a grade. She's here waiting for her dad. Why is she doing your job? I said, I'm not trying to be mean, but guys, like, come on. Like, this is what you're here for. So it was a little rough. And I joked with Matt. I'm like, these are like the worst employees I've ever had. We did turn her, okay, girls. And I'm honest with you. I felt it was a little rough in the beginning. It's okay though, because so I was like, okay, you guys are all set. I'm like, this is what we're doing. And then finally I felt pretty good and Danielle had it and Matt was there. So I was like backstage and I'm checking on the food and I'm just going around. And right before intermission, I was like, oh, let me go check on concessions because everybody was good backstage. Like we're copacetic. Everybody was pretty set up. And they're all laughing. I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh my God, we were bored out here because it was during the play and nobody was coming to get anything. So we went in the men's bathroom and there was some guy in the handicap stall taking a shit and his like feet were up on the seat and he was like, get the fuck out of here. And then they're like, now we're trying to figure out who he is. So, I mean, I'm the shit princess. I mean, we all know how this started. Someone shit on my floor. So I was like, yes, girls, let's figure this out. So we're all like looking like, and that's, I feel like when we all like really came together, it was like, all right, guys, we had a rough start. You haven't done this before. I can respect that. I can enjoy some shit. And then I went to shit talking because here's the deal. There is a church that rents out the auditorium on Sundays. And from what I was picking up, from what I was told from the faculty, that this said church complains a lot and moves our sets, the sets that the kids took a long time to build that are highly breakable for their church on Sunday. And said church somehow messed up the mics and the lighting. Once again, if I'm wrong, this was the information I was given and I'm going on it. So Pastor Paul, if I have something wrong, so sorry. But I was told this. So I was pretty up in arms because these kids are singing their asses off. They're leaving everything on the stage as sophomores, freshmen, juniors, seniors. Like, I am telling you, this was the best production. And their mics are cutting out. And during Tech Week, the lights are malfunctioning and giving kids almost epileptic seizures. Like so worse. And I was told, okay. And I was also told that the school only gets 20 grand to rent this out. So I was like, are you fucking serious? So Pastor Paul, I don't even know. The fucking assistant principal was like, oh, he's trying to be a part of a community. I was like, I don't think so. Because homeboy was there with his mom who looked like his mother and had like a piercing pagoda chain on and like greasy hair and was like just walking around mad dogging. So of course I just stood there looking judgmental at him, basically willing to come over to me because I wanted to tell him exactly what the fuck was up, but he wouldn't. So then Jill is like, come meet the assistant principal. I'm like, I would love to. So then I started taking up the microphone fight with him. And that's when he was all like Mr. Diplomatic and was like, well, he's being a member of the community, blah, blah, blah. I said, I appreciate that you have to be diplomatic as an assistant manager, but as a parent, I don't. And it fucking pisses me off. Like, this was a very emotional play. And I'm sorry. Why the fuck are we renting out the auditorium and putting our kids second for my, well, I fucking know why. After I met the principal, I don't know if he's going to listen or not, but I started calling the principal fuckface because that's how you made me feel, sir. Honestly, you came to the one play, the mic started messing up. So I was like, all right, it's real. I'm going to go, I have proof. Let's go talk about this. And he was nowhere to be found. This was the next day. There was a band concert going on. So people were getting charged for the band thing and the theater, and they weren't supposed to. And apparently, he made it sound like our parents were not telling the truth. I, unfortunately, could not confirm that people had been charged. But whether or not that happened, Principal Fuckface, I don't think it's cool to call our parents liars. Just gonna say. And from everything the kids told me about you, nobody's a fan. And Principal Fuckface, just a curiosity, you're going to apparently buy lockers for them all to put their phones in during school. Where's the money coming from that? Is that coming from the $200,000 from the fucking church? Or are these my taxpayer dollars? Because I'm sorry. Here's bitching with the bitch. I feel very strongly about this. I bought my son a cell phone. I'm not saying he should have it on in class. I'm not saying any of that. But after Uvalde, where you shit the bed, I do not trust the police, especially the Gilbert police, who is in the pocket of God knows who with the Gilbert goons. I don't know what Mormon money you're getting. I don't know what fucking money you're getting. But I don't fucking trust you. So I need my kid, if he's stuck in a bathroom, to be able to boop, boop, boop. Mom, come get me. And I will fucking go down to that school and I will face the fucking shooter. Because the police don't care about our kids. So if us moms need to fucking go in there and be like, hey, homeboy, sorry your mom didn't love you. Please quit trying to take the most sacred thing we have. Yes, I said this in front of all the kids. I do not think you should take their cell phones. Maybe have more engaging classes. Maybe have more buy-in. I don't know, but taking their lifeline when their lives may be at risk is not okay. Okay, Principal Fuckface, do you understand me? You are not taking my kid's phone. Anyway, so as you can see, I had some real problems with this situation. So the next night at the play, he's back there and he's got his eyes just talking to the tech teacher, Colin. Fucking Principal Fuckface. Oh, look at me. Rah, rah, rah. So I go up to him. I go, I was looking for you. Oh, I was here. I go, no, you weren't. Not when the mics malfunctioned. I said, I had kids back there in tears. Their, dreams and hopes were crushed for apparently $20,000. And he goes, it's $200,000. I go, I'm so glad we're putting a price on our children. They're crying, no big deal. And he's like, we'll do something about the mic. So I don't know. I will let you know during Little Women if it got fixed. But the whole thing, why the fuck is a church renting our auditorium for $200,000? Why does this shit-ass church with a pastor that I wouldn't give $1 to having $200,000? And you have the audacity to put a sign in my neighborhood? Guess what, Pastor Paul? That sign's not in the neighborhood anymore. God bless you, sir. That's back with your stuff. We don't want it here. I picked it up, and a lady saw me, and I said, God bless you. and I took your sign back by your cross. We don't want it outside Agritopia. And if you have a problem with that, you can take it up with the HOA. Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. Sarah Strickland, director of Agritopia HOA. That's right. That's right, motherfucker. I have some power here. So Pastor Paul, Principal Fuckface, both on my shit list. Not a good place to be. But let's talk about the fun stuff, guys. I'm sorry. Let's get that negative out. I probably shouldn't have said all that. And Principal Fuckface might listen. But you know what? I have never been one to hold my tongue, and I'm not going to start now. Kids, parents, principal, I don't care. These are our fucking kids. And they are so talented. And when they're trying to sing in front of their grandparents, who my grandma died when I was a senior, my Nana. So if the last thing she went to see me in, my fucking mic was cracking, yeah, I'd still be thinking about that today when I'm 40. Just FYI, principal fuckface. Sorry, I really am mad about these microphones. Like, I don't know why, but this is my hill to die on right now. Like, once I got with these kids, I was like, I am your mom. You come live with me, whatever you need. Like, I was in it. They were so amazing and so sweet and so talented. And it was so fun to be around because it was, you don't have that experience as an adult. And it was also like, it made me feel young, but also it also kind of, because my husband's like, well, do you miss being on stage? Is that why you want to be there? I said, no, that's not it. I really enjoyed being backstage and letting them shine. Like, it wasn't because I wanted to be on stage or I thought I could do better. I can't sing. But it was just being around the theater is what I enjoyed. And being my age, being able to be like, it's not my turn anymore. That's what I did when I was little. I have this outlet. I don't need that. But I loved watching them and being inspired by them. And the girls were the best. I'm sorry, Walker, I love you with all my heart. I've loved you since I found out I was pregnant with you. But boys are not as sweet as girls. They just aren't. They were like, oh, will you come braid my hair? I was like, I would love to braid your hair. Are you kidding me? So I was like telling them, I'm like, I learned this in the 9th grade from Jen Meyer. Rest in peace. She died during COVID. She was an anti-vaxxer. I'm sorry, Jen. But I really, yours will live on. I mean, I give you the credit for the braids. So I was like braiding hair and I was like giving I was just like giving food and braiding hair and like telling funny jokes. That was kind of my contribution as the group mom. They were showing this girl, Ashlyn, a wig, and it was the ugliest fucking wig I've ever seen. And she was like almost in tears. And because both of the leads, it was so cool. They played a dad and a son, and they were brothers. And then she was supposed to play the younger version of one of them. They both had like curly blonde hair. And this was like an old man straight toupee. Like it looked like a toupee. And I was like, you cannot put that on that girl. I understood the thought process. It's all we had. So we're like, this is not going to work. And she didn't want to do it. I'm like, okay, let's figure this out. So I went and like got a curling iron for my house. We're going to curl her hair. That wasn't working. So I'm on Amazon, like buying a wig. And poor Linda was like, no, this is what we're using. And I was like, Linda, just let me take care of it. I'm like, just don't worry about it. And so we got Ashlyn a wig and it looked so much better. So cute. She looked like little mini Justin Timberlake and NSYNC. It was adorable. I was just, playing with the girls. Like Walker, I bought him a soda and I had my sodas with the girls and I was talking to them. I'm like, oh, you guys, here you go. You can have these, you're my favorite. And it was just, I don't know. I just loved being around them and like taking pictures with them. And, it made me feel good. And my biggest fan, Zach, you did amazing as Zachy. Let me tell you, this kid fucking killed it. He brought everything he had. Zach, Mama Sarah is so proud of you, if that's what you needed to hear. And the songs, like they were just so good. I love them all. Little Lamb from Alabama. Like I was just in it. And also, okay, sorry, I'm gonna bounce around, guys. You know me. The first show, yes, my in-laws were there. And it was also Kylie's birthday. Happy belated birthday, Kylie. So there was cake. And Mary, who I love, this girl is a senior. She has like taken my son under her wing, driven him, like this, love her, and got like, we started talking to her mom. So I saw her mom out there and I was like telling her about Pastor Paul and my in-laws that I was avoiding. So we were all laughing and then they were in the front row and like my in-laws were sitting there and I was literally like just walking down the aisle, not looking at them. So I got down there, they're in the front row. I'm like, Sharon, my in-laws are back there. She goes, oh, I heard there's cake. I'm like, I'll go get you cake. Like I was getting everyone cake. I went and got mad a piece of cake. Like I love taking care of people. I love bringing them stuff. Like I just love treating them like a king or a queen. So I really feel like I solidified our relationship with the cake. I was like, Sharon, I got you. You don't need to worry. Really, like I said, I solidified all my relationships with everybody with food. Like my girl Z, I was like, you take those cookies, girl. All of them, I'm like, just take it. You do it. I love it. And then also, I think the best thing was also that I met my mod squad. You know, I feel like Chelsea, Danielle, my girl Brooke, who's fucking badass. She's a beautiful, Brooke, you have a beautiful family for listening to this. Like your whole family's beautiful and talented, and you should just be super proud. I'm proud that you're in my mom squad. And also I got a little bit closer to Bunny, my son's girlfriend of 2 years. Like she, I feel like actually appreciates me and is really sweet. And also these moms are insanely talented. Chelsea, two of the kids' moms, made these awesome balloon fish that like it was so talented. It's kind of gone down, but this was my fish. I named it Goldie Hawn. Her favorite movie is Overboard. I love Goldie. So it was just, I don't know, it was magical. It was I hadn't been on stage. And even the show that, because they were like, you have to go sit and watch. So Valentine's Day, the whole family went, me, Drew, and Beckett. But I kept like running around, like checking on stuff. And then I would sit down. And then I felt bad too, because we're watching. I'm like, I made those. Or I'm like, oh, that's Daphne. She was worried about her turn. She did so great. She didn't need to worry about that. Like I was just like giving him the like, he's like, then the second half. And I hand it out. I had seen this 12 times. I don't know. I'd seen all these. Niagara Falls. Eli and Lucia fucking brought it. Like bawling. The guy next to Drew was bawling. It was just fan-fucking-tastic. I loved it. But they needed books, so I brought some books. And one of them that I brought was actually my yearbook. And like we were kind of looking through it. And then at the end of the play, everyone was so nice. And they wrote me a little card with all this stuff on it. And it was like, thank you. You're awesome and cool. And I love your stories and nice and light and funny. And I was like, oh, I was like crying. It was so sweet. And then I was looking back through my yearbook and it was really funny because the stuff that the kids wrote in the card was a lot of the stuff that people had written in my yearbook. And I thought that was really cool because when I was on the pills for so long, I really felt like I lost myself. And this was just kind of confirmation that even though I thought I had gotten back, I had indeed gotten back. And that was really important to me. But then I started reading this, and let me share this with you because I did not realize this at the time. Sarah, wow, where should I start? What a girl you are. I'm glad I met a very unique, funny, outgoing girl like you. I don't know what I'm going to do next year, but I can't look behind me and hear some funny, nasty, and different stories. You're such a great girl, and I wish you luck next year. Have a great summer. Stay cool and awesome forever. Bobby. Who the fuck is Bobby? Seriously, who the fuck is, I don't know who Bobby is. I messaged Megan. I'm like, Megan, who the fuck is Bobby? She didn't know. We think we figured it out. I friended him on Facebook, but still, even then, I don't know. So now I'm spiraling. Like, I'm like, clearly this boy had a thing for me. And I just had no idea. I don't remember reading this and being like, oh, he wants me. And now as a 40-year-old woman, I was like, oh, honey. It was very sweet. But so Bobby, whoever you are, if you're listening, I am so sorry. Please reach out. I don't know. I'll tell you I'm sorry in person. I had a lot of issues, man. Like, you didn't want me. The PMDD was outrageous. Like, every relationship was lasting like a month. I didn't know why. Now I do. A whole thing, Bobby. You dodged a bullet. But I appreciate that you appreciated me. And then I saw this and I thought I would share this with everyone because we love Josh. And this is proof Josh and I have been friends. Hey there, sweetheart. I cannot believe we are finally graduating. I'm so glad we got to know each other. I mean, Sarah, Sarah, I love you so much. We have been here for each other for 4 years, and they've been awesome. I could not have made it without you. I am always here for you, and thank you for being there for me. Sorry about the signing. I don't know what that was. I love you. I know you are going to be awesome at life and everything you do. I know we'll stay in touch. Love always, Josh McCown. Class of 2003 rocks. Yes, it did. And yes, we are still friends forever, Josh. And I so appreciate that. Let's get on to another one. And it was so fun. You guys would remember back in the day, like your best friend had a full page. And like also, what the fuck is that pressure? Like you need to write a full page. Sarah, well, the last 2 years have been crazy. You're my best friend in the whole world. Don't worry about next year. I know and promise we'll be friends. We are going to have so much fun next year. Together, we've been through a lot, good, bad, and ugly times. We've gotten over our loves together. We've made we've made their lives miserable together, and there will be many more memories that we'll have together, no matter what. I want you to know you're my dearest and closest friend. I can't believe we're graduating. Hey, I used to live there. Did you know that? We're going to have a blast next year. Love always, Megan Riggs. You're a goddess. There were some inside jokes there, folks, but you got the idea. Folks, here's the doozy that's in this yearbook. Sarah, hi. I heard you had too much sex. Anyway, let's do something sometime. So KIT, cell phone number and home phone number, inreachmusic.com, Drew Strickland. That's right, folks. The future father of my children, soulmate, my whole world. We just met back up. And he wrote that in my yearbook. And I wrote in his, hey, Drew, let's bang. Sarah, I probably put my cell and home phone number as well. But my favorite part was always that he put the name of the band in there. That because I remember this all so vividly. It was like the end of school, and we were like signing yearbooks. I ran into Drew, and I hadn't really talked to him since sophomore year. And like we signed each other's yearbooks. He wrote that, and he's like, "You should come to my graduation party," which was at like a Value Inn or something on like Main Street. Like, no offense, honey, it was not. It was pretty low rent. But I didn't even have a graduation party. So we went. I remember our friend Glenn we were like talking, and I said something, and he's like, "Oh, my birthday is October 6th too." So I don't know if that was like him, like that was the extent of Glenn ever hitting on me, or if that even was, but I just thought it was funny. And then that summer was the best summer of my life. The summer after high school, Drew and I started dating. Our friend Brandon, his parents were like never home. He worked at a bowling alley, so he was stealing all this booze. And we were just partying all the time. Like it was just so much fun. And Drew and I, the way we got together, I'm going to share this. I don't know how he's going to feel about this, but he had gotten kicked out of the band, said band that he left and he was drunk on the front lawn and saying he was James Bond. And I took care of him. I took him to the bathroom. He threw up, and I remember he said something like, I didn't realize you were this nice or something. And I said, not many people do. Not many people see this side. And I honestly think that moment, whether or not we realized it, was really the moment that I think both of us saw something else in each other. And we broke up over that summer. I made some horrible decisions and dated a 28-year-old who I met like interning at a newspaper. I decided I was like, he's mature. Impotent Eric. Yeah, that's what we called you because you couldn't get it up ever because of your antidepressant, which no shame. I was on an antidepressant, but dude, you were 28 dating an 18-year-old. You had me drive everywhere because you leased your car and didn't want to put too many miles on it, even though I didn't have air conditioning. You had me stay over at your house. And like, I was really delulu and thought we had a real thing and didn't understand why I couldn't meet your mother. So Eric Berg, if you're out there, fuck you. Yeah, that's right. This motherfucker. Here we go. Let's launch into this. So I met him interning at a newspaper. Like we go to movies, and I felt like so deep. Like we went and saw independent movies, like Finding Mahoney or something. It was Philip Seymour Hoffman, and we went to The White Stripes. But I remember I found lube one time at his house, and I was like, "What dry bitches are you sleeping with?" And he was like, "Oh, that's for the other hole." And I was like, "That's a big no for me. That's all yours." And he had a shower cap that I'd wear when I showered. So when we broke up, this motherfucker put all my stuff together and he put the lube in the shower cap. He put his anal lube that we were not using, for the record, because I am not the up the butt girl, in my shower cap. And like you heard, Megan, we made men's lives miserable. If you dumped us, we went nuclear. We had nothing better to do than seek revenge on you. So, of course, we seeked revenge on him, and we went back to his apartment and we covered his whole doorknob with lube and then put the shower cap on it so he'd know it was us. And then, curiously, it was Drew's birthday. When we were back together, I was pregnant with Walker, and we were at a bar in Tempe. And I was pregnant and with friends, and I looked and I go, "Oh my God, that's Eric." That motherfucker ran away like a pussy from the bar. Like, dude, this was like 6 years later. I was fucking 18. Maybe you should have been dating an 18-year-old when you were 28 if you were worried about my maturity level. Eric Berg. That's Berg. Berg. Feel free to find him for me. I have a few grooming conversations to have with him. But anyway, it all worked out. I'm with Drew and I am so happy. But I guess long story short, because I wanted to have some shorter podcasts. Now everyone kept saying how long they were. So I really wanted to have some shorter ones just to pop in there. But to sum it all up, I love being the drama mama. I loved seeing these kids and their talent. And seeing their youth and their exuberance just made me really kind of nostalgic for when I was young. Not that I wanted to be, but just to kind of see that and then read through that and laugh and be like, who the fuck was this person? Like, so many of them were like, you're funny. Or there were some people too that were like, remember, there are consequences for every action. I'm like, thanks for warning me. Were you worried I was going to get in a bobo or something? Like, don't worry, guys. I didn't do anything I couldn't take back. We're so good. So I really implore all of you millennials to go back through your yearbooks and kind of just see who you were, see who you are now, see how close it is to aligning. Is this the life that you would have wanted? You know, are you still in contact with your friends? It really feeds your soul because we are really starting to feel old, but we were not old forever. So I really want everyone to try to recapture that. That's the nice thing about having kids is you kind of get to experience that stuff again. And I think our generation grew up too fast. I do. I think our parents were emotionally unavailable. I think our parents didn't know how to raise kids. Some of them, I shouldn't say all, a majority. And we all grew up too fast. We were all having sex too fast. We were all wanting to be adults so fast because I think that our parents made us miserable and none of us talked about it. And we all just wanted out and to be adults. I know I did. So I really also am trying to protect it with the kids. Like when they were like freaking out about us, they did something wrong. I'm like, guys, it's fine. This is high school drama. It's not life or death. They were like sobbing because they're seniors. I'm like, guys, I promise you, if they're meant to be your friend, they will still be your friend. Look, I just read you Megan and Josh. I am still so close with them 22 years later. I mean, and nothing has changed. Gavin, Brandon officiated our wedding. Like, we have friends that we have known. So I want these kids to know that just because you go off to different colleges or if they do move to a different state, like it's okay. If you put in the effort, you will stay friends with them. And also I was like, you guys are young. Have fun. So I really felt like it was my mission to keep everybody in the moment. You know, keep us moms and dad, Matt, fucking badass, the boosters, really cohesive, and we are protecting these kids. and we are protecting their memories. And that is our job now as parents, is to really think about what we're saying to them and how it's affecting them. And are we being critical? Are we being helpful? And I probably over tell Walker how great he is. And I've had to explain to him that when I say things, sometimes it's what I wish my parents said to me. And I don't mean to go overboard, but I don't want him to ever feel like I felt. And some kids, if they were like, "Oh, my parents are critical," I would say, "Well, it's tough." I mean, one of them, he's like, "I'm the oldest. My mom's the oldest." I'm like, "Yeah, I said, Walker's the same way." And I said, as much as it sucks, honey, like you grow up with your first. You just do. And I said, also, it's as a parent, I think you see some of your flaws in your kids. And we know that it bothers us as a flaw for ourselves. So we will maybe pick up on that and point that out to them when it has nothing to do with them. It's just something we don't like about ourselves. So I was also trying to therapy people because I felt really proud of myself that I had all that. And also, all right, let's be honest. I wanted to out Mama Rose, my mom. I wanted to be better than her. And she told those crazy stories and lied. And I was like, I will be fucking mom of the year. We were polar opposites. I want to really show our polar opposites. And it also it sucks being no contact with your family too, because Walker up there was just, I'm speechless. He was so good. And even then, and that was okay. Sorry, I'll talk about the play a little more. It was so fun because they did 4 performances. So by the end and the second to last, you could see where they were improvising and stuff. And I really loved that because Walker at one point, he said, "You're a big fish." And he looked at the crowd. And I honestly have never been more proud of my son and his comedic timing. And I was like, that's my boy. And I mean, like I said, I was crying over all of them. You were all my kids. You all did amazing. Whatever you guys want to do in life, you will do well. You are staggering. You were kind. You were a group. Just hang in there. Okay. And just know that all of us love you and all of us are rooting for you. And kids, most importantly, never forget to make today your bitch. I'm Sarah Strickland. Remember to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Thank you guys.